because they took the money they make and they invest it in tunnels, and they invested in missiles, and they invested in launchers and UAVs, and we are destroying and degrading that in historic proportions.
And John, I got to tell you that an Iranian missile made it through the Israeli air defenses and came down in the southern Israeli town of Dimona.
We have breaking news out of Israel, where there is a mass casualty event being reported by journalists in the area, as well as Israel. About 100 injured, according to Israeli journalist Yaki Adamker.
What the world has believed was the missile capabilities of Iran was really the medium range, and that was the 1,200 miles or roughly 2,500 kilometers that we believed, the whole world believed, and Iran publicly said they could do, was in this radius here. That's what we've been operating on. The missiles launched, the intermediate range missiles that we did not know Iran had that capability. This wasn't just a target, Diego Garcia, in the Indian Ocean. It was a message that we can strike a much wider radius. And if you look here, there are European capitals in there.
I'll just catch you up on some information. Some sources are now reporting that members of the 82nd Airborne are saying that they've gotten their deployment papers. Members of the 82nd Airborne, one of the most elite units in Special Forces of the United States.
This has reached a new level. Do not let anyone tell you nothing is going on. Listen, you just heard what they said. Here's what happened. Iran hit a nuclear site, or they attempted to hit a nuclear site. You don't know what both sides are going to say. Iran may come out and say we hit it. Israel may come out and say they didn't hit it, but they attempted to hit a nuclear site in Israel. Now, this nuclear site is the Natanz site. This is the site that is near Dimona, Israel, where a lot of African Americans live, where a lot of just Israelis as well live. Southern Israel, Dimona, Israel. The targeting of this nuclear site could have been more detrimental than it was. Because if there was radiation and nuclear detonators to leak into that soil, those people would now have poisonous water and food. This is why we tell you on this channel, the only places you need to be in World War III are Mauritius, Seychelles, New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, Botswana, or Namibia. Check the statistics, because when this thing comes to a full head, it will ruin the very water and soil that you are used to leveraging in the nations like Israel, like America, like the United Kingdom, like Germany, which is why the United Kingdom has now considered getting into this war.
Yeah, things are expanding. Just how you guys saw that, just how he broke it down, like, oh, we thought their missiles were able to reach here, but their missiles seem like they're able to reach possibly 2,000 miles away. So that's a big radius right there. As you saw, I know over the weekend we were seeing this with what's the island called? Diego Garcia, right? This is, I guess, the people that occupy that island is the UK and the US. They have lots of military bases there and things like that. I want to say the island is about like 20,000, 30,000 people there. Yep. So Iran just sent a message saying, hey, we can reach you. We can touch you. It's not like you can't be touched. You can be touched. Not
only that, but listen, there were also sightings in Louisiana. Now, if you don't know what Louisiana has, in Shreveport, Louisiana, they have a nuclear capable site. In fact, Shreveport is on the list of cities, amongst other cities in the U.S. that are targets in nuclear war and war in general. There have been drone sightings. Somebody in Louisiana comment down below. There have been strange drone sightings, and they say, we don't know where this is coming from. We don't know where these drones are coming from, but I'll tell you, the Iranians are known for their drone warfare. Have you not been paying attention to what's been happening in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Saudi Arabia, all the Gulf states in the Middle East? Iran might have one of the most best drone capabilities in the world, but they're doing something wise that everybody should do in life, which is not tell people your full hand. This is how you know someone is very powerful. When they don't even come with their full hand, they allow you to think that they're stupid or weak, because that's when the pressure can really hurt. When you underestimate Iranian capabilities, it puts American citizens in the crosshairs, unfortunately, as collateral damage.
Yeah, that's something else. Just how she was talking about the drones, right? Now these are drones. It's not like military grade drones. These are enhanced type of drones. It looked like a regular type of drone you can buy from the store, but they enhanced it. They make it a little bit more better. So when I think about that and the news that we've been seeing about it, and what that military base is right there, that's one of the most important military bases for the United States. And when I think about like, oh, where did it come from? My idea, I'm gonna give you my idea, my opinion. I believe there's people around Louisiana that's doing this, that probably has some type of military background, some type of alliance to Iran, because I don't think no drone can fly all the way from Iran unless it's one of the big drones that you can't see when you're looking up in the sky. That's a good point. These people are in the United States that's doing this. That's giving Iran the blueprint. Hey, this time this is when they do this time. This is when they go to lunch break. You get what I'm saying? Like it's escalating. It's really expanding as we see, as that radius was. Like they saying you can be touched. America, you can be touched. You're not untouchable.
And this shows you why Iran has behaved the way they have behaved in this war. They've been very quiet. Anytime you're around somebody who's quiet, typically they know more than they're letting on, and they have quiet confidence, a level of competence that loud people don't have. Typically when you're around somebody that's loud, they're not that confident, they're not that competent, they may be overly exerting to make up for the lack of competence that they have. But Iran is showing the nations. Trump says, oh, we're almost done with the war, he's always talking. Iran is like, oh, we're just getting started. You're almost done? Well, we're just going to begin. We're just getting started. And this is why the United Kingdom has been brought in. But here's the illusion of distance. For decades, the modern world has operated under that quiet assumption that certain lines once drawn would not be crossed. Nuclear sites were among them. Living in America is among them. And they sat in the category of their own. Untouchable, unspoken, you can't reach here. Everybody agrees we're not going to touch nuclear sites and poison the earth, but clearly these people are willing to touch nuclear sites and poison the earth, protected not just by defense systems, but previously mutual understanding. But the recent strike near Israel's Dimona nuclear facility did not need to cause a meltdown after the global equation. It only needed to get close enough, because proximity is signal that you'll repeat it and you'll do it again. And signals like these travel faster than missiles. Now get this, President Donald Trump has also recently expressed that he is giving Iran 48 hours until he targets their nuclear facilities. So he has publicly come out. Iran did not publicly come out and say that they were going to do that to Israel, but he is publicly coming out and saying by Tuesday, if you don't do X, Y, and Z, which they're obviously not, we are now going to target your nuclear sites and cause radiation to go throughout your ground and to cause all of these poisonous materials to leak out of your infrastructure. Who knows what happens next after that? But the window is truly declining. When we say the window is declining, there will be no travel after the next couple of months. There will be no more getting outside of America. And so if you are trying to get outside of America, don't try anymore. Just do it. Visit www.journeywithusmovetoafrica.com/services to look at the mature adult intensive cohort number 7, especially if you're like, I don't want to feel alone in this. I want to have an advisory, a curriculum to support me. I want to have a group consulting incubator to support me. I want to go somewhere that's going to be the last standing place, like somewhere in Southern Africa, like the islands, even if you wanted to go to New Zealand. But I don't know what infrastructure to put together so quickly because everything is happening so fast. So you want somebody to look over it and to make that plan with you. Go ahead and visit the Mature Adult Intensive. It will save you thousands of dollars per year. It will save you stress. And it might just save your life at this rate. We've had 2 clients announce in the last couple of days that they have just landed. So many people are landing because they're seeing the signs. Everybody's like, oh, Mauritius and Seychelles are on the list of the safest countries. Everybody's coming out now like, okay, I need to rethink this, because remember that radius. North Africa is not safe. West Africa is not safe. When they tell you that there's only about 10 countries that are safe, they are Paraguay, Uruguay, South Africa, Botswana, Namibia, Mauritius, Seychelles, New Zealand, Australia. And then on the north side, places like Norway, because remember, Europe was in the hitting zone too. It is what it is. You can take it or leave it. Reality and truth stand on their own, and the only people that are going to survive this crisis are the ultimately prepared, not just prepping in the States, in Louisiana, where it's a nuclear site. That doesn't really help. You got to prepare somewhere else that has no nuclear capabilities, because when you have no nuclear capabilities, you're not a target.
Yeah, and as we see, like those, like I believe Donald Trump was just talking about, was it Pakistan? They were talking about nuclear weapons, and he's like, look, we will come in there and shut that down. We don't want you guys to have nuclear power, nuclear weapons. That's not smart. Only we can, because we are the most important nation ever.
They
we are
already
so
nuked people.
strong. We have the best of everything, right? But I do want to say this: information is key. Information is very, very important, and it is very wise to be amongst a community that talks about these things, that really keeps it real and truthful, to tell you like, hey, this is working here, this is working here. But like say, things are escalating. We used to say month by month, week by week. Now it's getting down to day by day.
Hour by hour.
Yeah, hour by hour. And it seems that seems like it says something like that in the word, in the scripture, right? So you got to be discerning in these times. Use your wisdom. Use what the Most High is leading you with and guiding you with. Like, it's not time to just think like everything's okay, because it's not.
If you think everything's okay, you are on Pluto. Literally, you are in a different reality, and you have to try and wake yourself up, because it's the last time that you're going to be able to do that.
Yeah.
The nations that survive this are going to be outside of the West. This is truly the crumbling of the West in every stance of it, economically, geopolitically, violence-wise. Everybody knows it. There are movies out there that tell you. If you don't believe it, they are warning you in the movies. This is about to happen. You can take it and just sit there and be quiet and say, I agree with this, or you can prepare.
Yeah.
Everybody has free will and options in life.
Yeah, prepare now, because you see what's happening in the States already with the TSA. The workers not getting paid, and flights is being shut down. And smaller airports is literally shutting down. That's like, huh?
World lockdown. Whoa. World lockdown.
Things are happening. It's really happening super fast. And if you're not trying to move with the time and move faster than the time in a way, I definitely know you can't move faster than time. But I'm saying you got to move accordingly with the time, because yeah, next week is going to be different. The week after that is probably going to be worse. So, you know, we are in a time of harvest. We are in a time of abundance. So it's time to really get in line what's happening that is going to be right for you. Like, it's so much distractions out here. We was just watching something about spring break in Houston and stuff. I'm like, dang, I forgot people still do this stuff. Like, I forgot it was this time, but they're not really thinking about, hey, this is springtime. This is, you know, a new year. This is Passover. This is lining up accordingly to the scriptures. So it's really time to get this information and really move properly.
And this is something that people will miss as well. The average viewer will watch this story and they will just move on. The average person does not have because literally in the scriptures, the Most High says that you didn't choose me, I chose you. So he's telling you, You are not capable in yourself of having discernment, but I choose who I'm going to have discernment, and it's only going to be a small remnant of people. So they will hear no radiation leak and breathe a sigh of relief. They will assume the danger has passed. But seasoned observers, people with discernment, understand something quite different. The absence of disaster does not mean the presence of safety. It simply means the system held for right now. This is the pattern beneath the headlines. If you were to take a step back, you're going to see a pattern emerge. Increased targeting of strategic energy-focused infrastructure. Expanded geographic reach of missile systems, greater tolerance for proximity to high-risk assets. Each event on its own appears manageable. It appears okay. They struck the energy in Qatar. They struck the energy in Israel. Now they may do Iran. Yeah. But together they form a dangerous trajectory. And trajectories, once established, are difficult to reverse. This is going to be especially detrimental for Europe. Europe understands this now. That is why the United Kingdom is being involved. They're like, hey, we're not going to have heat. We're not going to have natural gas for stoves. We're not going to have anything. So this is where you see that millions and billions of people are going to just simply starve, as it says in Revelations. So here's the question that actually matters now. Will things escalate? That question has already been answered. Yes, they are. The real, actual question you need to be asking is, where will you be positioned as they do escalate? Because in times of global uncertainty, position becomes everything. Not just financially, not just geographically, but structurally. Now, here's the difference between positioning versus reaction. There are two types of people in moments like this. Those who react. They wait for confirmation. They wait for certainty. They're most likely listening to President Donald Trump, and they're like, well, he said we're about to end the war, so let's be positive. The war is about to end. This is what they're thinking. But by that time, the situation becomes undeniable. The lies fall through, and their options are scarce and limited. But then we have those who position properly. They read the signals early. They're not waiting for President Donald Trump. They're not waiting for any man, actually, to tell them what to do. They understand that proximity matters. They move before movement becomes crowded. They are the individuals who preserve stability when systems begin to strain. Now, here's a quiet reality that most are unwilling to say out loud. The modern world is not collapsing overnight. It's recalibrating. And it's recalibrating in a way that creates mass friction in travel, banking, residency, access. What was once seamless becomes selective. What was once assumed becomes negotiated. And those without a strategy find themselves navigating a system that no longer behaves as expected. That is it for this video. Shalom, shalom. Visit www.journeywithusmove-to-africa.com/services and stay alert.
Yeah, and one last thing I want to say, just how President Donald Trump was saying the war is going to end now, and just the video we played at the beginning, and they're sending the 82nd Special Forces to Iran.
Yeah.
So I just want to say, it'd be like peace, and then sudden destruction. So that's what's going to be happening.
Peace.
That's what's going to be happening. It seems like peace. You know, if you're listening, you can understand what's happening, but that's basically what they're doing. Peace, sudden destruction. Just how before this even started, they wanted to go meet to talk about peace.
Yeah, the Board of Peace.
Yeah, the Board
that was
of
like
Peace,
the Board of War.
Negotiate with Iran, and then the same day, sudden destruction. So come on, guys, you got to use your discernment. You got to make sure that you're on point. Be on point. So we'll talk to you guys later. Make sure you like the video. Leave your comments below. Shalom.
Shalom.